Hey, it's Cruz here. I am the founder of Ascend Growth Ventures. I want to thank you for joining me on this talk about one of the most important things you need to know if you want to scale your business. I heard a quote. I can't exactly remember who said it, but it goes something like this. When you have clarity of vision, strategy and tactics become self-evident. But clarity doesn't just sit on a page. It creates motion. It drives alignment across your team and leads directly to decisive action. And the way you get clarity, it starts with having a clear, compelling vision. I want to talk to you about something foundational, something that almost every growth stage founder skips or doesn't go deep enough on. And that's vision. But not the kind that lives in a mission statement or a few bullet points on your website. I'm talking about vivid vision. A clear, detailed picture of what your life and business look like 3 years from now. Tangible, emotional, strategic. Because here's what I've learned. You cannot scale what you cannot see. If the future you're trying to build isn't crystal clear, not just for you, but for your team, then you'll default back to firefighting, working harder, and reacting to everything around you. When founders hit $3 to $10 million, things get messy. You've outgrown the early hustle but haven't yet built the infrastructure or team maturity to scale without being in the center of everything. And most of the time, it's because the future hasn't been architected with intention. So let's talk about how to change that. When I work with clients, the first thing we do, before numbers, before org charts, before KPIs, we craft a vivid vision, and that becomes the compass. It shows us where the gaps are between who you are today and the business you're becoming. Now, you might be thinking, Cruz, I already have a vision, and maybe you do, but here's the test. If I pulled your leadership team into separate rooms and asked them to describe the future of the company, would they give me the same answer? Most of the time, the answer is no. And that misalignment, that's where execution breaks down, where priorities get scattered, and where people start building different versions of the same business. A vivid vision solves that. It gives you alignment without micromanaging. It gives your team clarity and motivation. And it reconnects you to why you started this business in the first place. So what does it look like? It's not just revenue goals or a BHAG. For those of you who don't know, that's a big, hairy, audacious goal. That's actually a business term coined by Jim Collins. Let me go back to the vivid vision. A vivid vision. It's a narrative, a written document that paints the picture of your company 3 years from today, in detail, what your team looks like, what kind of clients you serve, how much time you personally spend in the business, what your culture feels like, what systems are in place, even what your office looks like, if that's relevant. This isn't fluff. It's a leadership tool, because when you start leading from the future and showing your team what that future looks like, you begin to make decisions like the person who already lives there. So here's a simple structure to get started. Start by fast forwarding 3 years from today. Imagine you're giving someone a tour of your business and your life. Describe it, no filter, no holding back. Get specific. Talk about your ideal week, the kind of meetings you're in or not in. Talk about the roles on your team, the client results you're known for, the kind of revenue and profit you're generating. Next, write it out in the present tense as if it already exists. Why? Because your brain processes future-oriented ideas more powerfully when you speak them as current reality. It engages your identity. It makes it real. Then, once you've got your first draft, read it aloud. Does it resonate? Does it feel exciting but slightly uncomfortable? That's good. That's the zone we want. That's vision. Now here's the kicker. Once you've got it dialed in, share it with your leadership team. Turn it into a short loom video. One thing I also recommend, and I have done myself, is to record it on your iPhone and then listen to it every day when you wake up and before you go to sleep. Listen to it until you have memorized each word and you start feeling the truth of every statement in your body. It needs to feel like it's your new reality. Use it in team meetings. Use it as a filter for hiring. Every strategic decision you make should pass through this lens. Does it bring us closer to the vision? When you use a vivid vision correctly, you don't just align your team, you realign yourself. You remember why you started this business. You stop chasing random growth and start building a company that supports your life. If you've ever felt like you're building the plane while flying it, like the business is growing but you're stuck in the weeds, this exercise is your first lever. You can't outsource vision, but you can build it once and let it lead your company every day. So that's your next step. Download the Vivid Vision worksheet. Block 60 minutes, no meetings, no phone, and just write. Imagine, lead. You have full permission to create anything you desire. If this helps, imagine you came across this genie in a bottle named Cruz, who will grant you all your wishes, but you have to state them clear. If you know you could get anything you want, what would that look like for you? By the way, before I forget, I also have a recorded Vivid Vision video and audio you can use to walk you through this exercise. I'll see you in the next video where we talk about the real reason founders plateau at $3 to $10 million. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, life is good. Let's build it.